We have a 7-round mock draft for you folks today, and it's going to be a good one with a big trade to start this bad boy out. But before we get into the mock draft, if you think it'd be a good idea to approach Scorpion from Mortal Kombat after he says, "Get over here," and you say, "Okay," then go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and sometimes being a Lions fan, you can get a bad fatality. Also, make sure you take that like button with you. Let that bad boy get cut up as well, uppercutted, and fall with you as well. Let's get into today's Lions mock draft.
It's LeGarrette Blount here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MicroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout out to MicroMike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
Before we get into this draft, let me tell you the scenarios that I did. When it comes to the mock draft simulator, I used PFN. I did it 7 times, and I used majority of what occurred. So in the trade, 4 times the trade came up, so then I selected this said trade. Also, when it comes to the players, I didn't use the extreme scenario. I used the more moderate scenarios that occurred, so said player would be there on majority of the times instead of player be there just 1 out of 7 times. So let's go ahead and get into the trade. In this scenario, the Detroit Lions actually trade out of 2 with the New York Giants. The Detroit Lions get the 5th pick and the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. New York Giants get the 2nd pick and the Detroit Lions' first 3rd round pick, 66 overall. Let's get into the selection. And with the 5th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame. This is my favorite prospect, and if the Lions do trade out, I think this would be for the player they would attempt to get. He is 6'4", 220 pounds. This guy has it all. He is a baller. He is a brawler. He will hit you very hard. Think of Quandre Diggs, but he also got the intangibles to get those very good interceptions like Glover Quinn. He is a dual type of player. He can go ahead and play linebacker if need be. He can obviously be safety because that's what he is. He can rush the passer and get the sacks. This is a Legion of Boom type of player. Good, great pick for the Detroit Lions. Let me know in the comment section, would you like the Detroit Lions to trade out of the 2nd pick? Y for yes and N for no. And with the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select George Karlaftis, the edge out of Purdue. This guy is 6'4", 275, big-bodied frame, underrated. When you look at the defensive ends in this draft, you think of Kayvon Thibodeau, you think of Aiden Hutchinson, but why not about George here? This guy can definitely beat at the line of scrimmage. He's got very good footwork, he's got massive handwork, and he's a bull rush, strong ability, never stops the pursuit, gets to the quarterback. I think he could be a dynamic player in the NFL. Think of J.J. Watt when he was drafted. He wasn't the first guy off the board, but he definitely was an impact player. I think George could definitely do this for the Detroit Lions, and if the Lions get an extra pick, I'd love this for the Lions defensive end. And with the 32nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select wide receiver David Bell out of Purdue as well. He's 6'2", 205. He's got that big-bodied frame as well. He's not the biggest guys like the Drake Londons, but he is a player who can make an impact for the Detroit Lions. He can stretch the field. He can do the contested catches a little bit better than Kenny Galladay was, in my opinion, and he would be a good complement to Amon-Ra St. Brown and what the Lions are trying to do on offense. They want gritty players. He is gritty, and he's good as well as run blocking. Why did I pick him over players like Drake London? Because those guys were not on the board at 32, and there's a likely chance they will not be there. David Bell, I did have the Lions potentially taking him in the 2nd round, but with the 32nd pick, might as well take it right there. And with the 34th pick, the Detroit Lions select Christian Harris, linebacker out of Alabama. He's 6'2", 232, a little bit undersized, but he's got quick feet. He's fast. He's sideline to sideline. Got a great pedigree with Alabama. I think he can player that can be next to Derek Barnes, and maybe if they do resign a Jalen Reeves-Maybin to be that type of individual that can make an impact, stay with the tight ends, and be a quality player. I think he can put on a little bit weight. I think his ceiling is like a Levante David. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he can make a big impact. I think it'd be a good pick for the Detroit Lions in the second round. The Lions, they missed out on Nakobe Dean. They missed out on a Devin Lloyd because those guys went in the first round. They take him in the second round and help out the Lions defense. So far, they went safety, edge, linebacker, and wide receiver. A lot of positions. So far, looking pretty good. With the 98th pick in the 2022 mock draft, the Detroit Lions select wide receiver John Metchi out of Alabama. I like this wide receiver. And talk about end of the third round, getting a speedy guy who's 6 foot 195 to stretch the field along with what we already got with David Bell. The Detroit Lions offense is now fixed. You got a hell of a combination with wide receivers. You got a good tight end coming back with TJ Hockenson. You got a stout offensive line and a running game. And now you got a wide receiver that can really open the field up. Imagine what Amon-Ra St. Brown and everybody is going to do here. We talk about a lot of wide receivers. Obviously, Jamison Williams from Alabama, he gets credit. But John Metchi as well is a big threat. And to get him in the late third round, this could be like another Amon-Ra St. Brown type of player for the Detroit Lions. Comment in the comment section, do you want this draft to be more defense or more offense? This one is simple. Just put DEF for defense or OFF for offense. Let me know what you guys think. In the fifth round of the 2022 NFL Draft, 176 overall, the Detroit Lions select safety Micah Bell. He is out of Florida A&M, 6'2", 205. I felt like doubling up on safety because we need that much help. I feel like this is a position that's probably going to get completely revamped this offseason, so why not get a young guy in there who's a big body, again, 6'2", 205. If you look what they want gritty, physical players. That's what Bell is here. Yes, he's not the top flight guy in this draft, but I think he's a developmental guy, and if you need be, we've seen it already, maybe you can move him at, if there's injuries, put him at corner at sometimes as well, but I think this guy would be a very good developmental safety. Sit behind what we already have. Man, oh man, we're starting to really get big and stout offensively and defensively. I would like this pick. In the sixth round, 181 overall, just a couple picks later, the Detroit Lions select Micah McFadden, linebacker. Look, this guy is from Indiana. He is 6'2", 232, another smaller guy, but I think he's a developmental guy as well. Just think of him working on special teams immediately, as well as getting reps, be able to make an impact if there is some injuries. I think when you look at his style, he has a lot of good attributes. He definitely is a little bit raw, no doubt about it. He needs to get better, I think, in passing, but I think he's good when it comes to run defense. He'd be a quality player for the Detroit Lions to just sit back and learn a little bit. We need help in depth all over this defense. This guy could do it for us. In the sixth round, 218 overall, the Detroit Lions select Shogozi MoKanwu, the tight end out of Maryland. Yes, I destroyed his name. That's okay. But he's actually a high riser route. The East-West Shrine game, 6'3", 224, getting open, making plays. The Detroit Lions need help at tight end. The number 2, potentially a number 3, just kind of depending how they got. And this guy's making plays. He made a lot of plays, and he's making an impact. So take a flyer on a tight end in the sixth round. He could be a guy, just like we've seen multiple times, that you take late in the draft that actually can make an impact. And a tight end, to me, you don't have to get one early in the draft. You can get one late round that can help a team out. We already got TJ Hockenson, so we need a number 1 guy, but we need a guy that maybe has a higher ceiling. I think this guy could do it. Make some plays. Completely fill this offense up with 2 wide receivers and a tight end. We're good to go. The defense is looking stout so far. I'm happy. In the 7th round, the final pick of the draft, 233 overall, the Detroit Lions select Chris Steele, a cornerback out of USC. Another bigger body, 6'2", 182. You're seeing a trend here. I like the bigger guys. I like the more physical guys. And I think the Lions are pretty good right now at the beginning in the depth initially when it comes to 1, 2, 3, potentially even 4 at the cornerback position. But we do need to get a guy to sit behind these guys if there's injuries. We've seen all the injuries, and I think Chris Steele could do that. He could be another Melifonwu type of player. You're not going to see a lot of time for him potentially next year. But if there is an injuries, he comes in, he makes some plays, and I think he has a higher ceiling. I love his physicality. I think that he needs to work on turning his head a little bit, but that's what you get when you're in the end of a draft. You get some raw players that can develop and help a team out. Want to make some money? Well, the Super Bowl is coming up. Go to chesssports.com/linesbet. You put in the promo code LINES125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. That means you put in $100, you get $125. You don't have to spend a ton of money, thousands of bucks. Spend $5 if you want to. Bet on the game. Have some fun. You don't have to get up out of your chair and go to a gas station to get a lottery ticket. You just sit down on your computer, make the bet. chesssports.com/linesbet. In the upcoming videos, we do got the One Pride podcast Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Get ready for that. Get your questions ready. We'll obviously talk about draft, free agency, everything Detroit Lions. Friday's video, Saturday, featured comments from OPP for the mailbag segment. Hey, we talk all things Lions, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.